Tapi yang Jakarta Timurnya beda pesawat.
Oh, beda pesawat ya.
city planners, and also we know the second oldest profession on earth. What is it? Architects. Architect is the second oldest profession on earth. So we are going to listen to an architect who has been working very hard to build Bandung. Bandung is only 200 years old city, but nonetheless, in the last 200 years, Bandung has shown a great development, a very special development, especially during his time. Your Excellency Ridwan Kamil, the time is yours. He is an environmentalist, and he is also the founding fathers of Indonesia Berkebun, the Indonesia Plants. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Ridwan Kamil. I'm the current mayor of the third largest city in Indonesia. I used to be an architect. I used to work in the United States for 5 years, working in Hong Kong for 2 years. Been traveling from more than 100 cities. So when I returned as a mayor, I learned the bad and the good things about the word civilization in other places. So my point of argument today is I'm sharing how city is a form of expression of culture. The most complex form of culture is cities. If in Bandung, the last 3 years I've been building Bandung into more happier cities and also more cultural cities. What I want to tell you today first is the world today is getting extreme. As you can see, for example, instead of helping people, nowadays people take photo first, then help later. So technology somehow connected us, but somehow also separate us. So I always told my people, look, you have to close to technology, but don't lose your humanity. So that's my always message for all of you. The world getting extreme, and the world also is getting competitive. Competition is everywhere in terms of economy, in terms of individuals, competitiveness also. Asia, for instance, is the most progressive continent today. But the urban that we live in, besides, is also become more dangerous. I have a naive thinking. I thought the more modern the time, the peaceful we had, but it turned out not to be that way. Yeah. So it means we learn the words getting competitive, getting extreme, getting more dangerous also. There is lots of thinking we have to say to the world. More conversation we need to discuss with other culture, because this is the challenge that we have to do. But in the other hand, the world is also getting connected, yeah, to whatever, and just feel in America, in Korea. So this is the way we live in also, and this become a culture in Bandung. Population 2.4 million, Facebook user 2.1 million. Yeah, so it's very highly connected society, consuming all the culture from Korea K-pop to American hip-hop. But we have the price of modernity as well. Yeah, this is just for a contemplative thinking. That modernity has a price. If you build civilization, if you build cities without the soul of culture related to something humanistic, something will happen at the end of the day. We shape the cities, thereafter the city shapes us. If we create stressful cities, city will create stressful generations. So I think this. So as a mayor with architectural background, I want you to think, what is being urban? Because sometimes people just go to the city suddenly and become the citizen of the city. It's not that simple. There is a philosophical thinking of being urban. From rural culture, mostly in Bali, yeah, suddenly moved to Bandung, like Panyoman. It's a Balinese who moved to Bandung, fell in love in Bandung, and decided to live in Bandung. Being urban is not that simple as just being in the city. Being urban means, number one, is you have to accept that you are anonymous. Yeah. Either you are the general or you are the corporal, either you are CEO or you are just an office boy. When you live in the city, you have to subscribe that you are nobody. Yes. But when you come to urban settings, you meet with other ethnicity, you meet with other nationality, you meet the extreme of poor and rich people in the same locus. Yeah. You meet with whatever, yeah, mixing in one bowl of what we call urban. So people who always have a problem in city, mostly because they don't accept the philosophy of being urban, of heterogeneity. They think they can homogenize the whole culture. They think they can homogenize religious thinking. They think they can homogenize philosophical thinking. So the city was very much cosmopolitan, accepting cultures, from Western culture, from Hindu culture, from Muslim, Islamic culture. So basically, Bandung is a melting pot. But because so many universities in Bandung, more than 50, so Bandung is a city of youth. So I'm running the majority of young people, 60% under 40 years old. Our economy is very strong, almost 8%. And as I said, population 2.4 million. Facebook user 2.1 million, is very connected. Jumlahnya juga paling banyak se-Indonesia. So we are blessed to have golden times. Early 1920s, Bandung is one of the largest Art Deco collection in the world. Yeah. So I'm preserving now. As a new mayor architect, I always tell the developer, if you build new building in the old city, you must have Art Deco style. So I have a bit forcing, yeah. So I'm the mayor who give more Art Deco collection instead of demolition. So we start with this. Sundanese and Bali share the same history. We were Hindus, yeah. So in Bali we have Trihita Kirana, what mentioned by Pak Manuarto. Nature harmony, people harmony. In Sunda, we call it Tri Tangtu, which is the same. Yeah. It means the balance of well-being in Indonesian people is when your life has these three elements. You cannot just pursue the people harmony without being subscribed to be religious. So religious in Indonesian culture is very important. Number well-being of culture of Sundanese into modern day daily life in the city of Bandung, and as a mayor, I lead the way to produce this. This is all traditional camp. So Bandung this year started launching what I call character building. Without character building, I'm afraid my generation, my young generation, will fall only pursuing modernity, pursuing prosperity without really having a strong value of being Bandung people or Indonesian. Bandung Masagi, we have to be religious, but also we have to be proud, nationalism. We have also to have more love to cultures, and environment. So we start the program called urban farming, because people always think that being an urban citizen, you are just consumer, right? You just buy, you just eat, you just consume. But in Bandung, the last 2 years, I developed a new mindset. Hey, you are urban citizen, but you can also produce food and vegetable like in the village area. So this is in most every places in Bandung. We have what we call urban farm. What happened with this? You eat your own vegetables. You meet people during the harvest time. You have conversation, right? Then you have a beautiful things happen because people become closer to one another. I developed more than 15 city parks the last 3 years. I revitalized waterways, I moved the slums area to apartments, and the ex-slums now become a people's place. Dirty River in some area we experimented to be the area. So happiness increased. We score 71 for happiness index in Bali. Years, almost years, nobody knows that behind the slum there is a city forest. Now after the slums removed, people enjoy that suddenly they have a nature inside the city. You have still the water spring, 3 water spring inside this area. Happy family visited by the mayor every week. We have watching movie. This is new culture. I said to the local district, hey, poor people in the city cannot go to 21 cinema. You bring the movie to the slum area, okay? And in the between movie, you stop. During the stop, you propaganda my program, okay? That's how I told the official. During the break, they propaganda, buanglah sampah pada tempatnya, buanglah mantan pada temannya, dan sebagainya. We close the street once a week. We call it car-free day, sometimes car-free night. Why? Because the rest of the day, the street is belong to the cars. Okay? If the street only belong to the cars, your city become a machine. It's not humanistic. So I said, hey, only 4 hours a week, let's take back the street back to the people. And this is where happiness happens. People exchange. Poor and rich people meet in this what we call urban space of street. Similar like Bali again, because we share same philosophical, we have Ikat in Bali also the same. This is also a routine. It's a festival of Pencak Silat. We preserve our martial art, traditional martial art, in the monthly basis competition, in the annual basis competitions. Culture to people, I've been by tour almost 3 years, and to my surprise, it's not popular. But to children, it's getting the idea. So I'm very happy. Bike to school is very popular. If you go to school in Bandung, many bike parking in the school, but not the adult. The adult people, they're too lazy. Collaboration is very important. Why is it very important? You have to design a city where people are being asked, what is your opinion? Where people being asked, what is your aspiration? They feel, they feel they are part of the system. This is a complex slide. All the event done not by the government. This is all the event done by people who love the city, who contribute to the city with a series of activities. Ya, nature harmony, people harmony, God harmony. Kita ada maghrib mengaji, ya. Every afternoon we pray. Next, mandatory. Berikut. I also join the religious, not in my religion, ya. Cap Gome, with the Buddhists also. Next. I visited Christmas wherever possible. Got protested by some fundamentalists, but I said, look, I'm a mayor of all people, not only Muslim people. So terus terakhir, next. Okay, so to conclude, Bandung is experimenting, yeah, the cultural thinking, the philosophical thinking to fight the extreme world, to fight the more competitive world, to balance all these extreme things into something balanced. Yeah. So at the end of the day, the three tangtu Sundanese cultural philosophy, God harmony, people harmony, nature harmony is the way we do things in daily basis in Bandung. Thank you.
Thank you. City Mayor His Excellency Ridwan Kamil. This office there are inisiatif juga. The shore, Merbau Pantai, which is actually in the seashore, now live in Bandung as well. Okay, big warm applause to Mr. Ridwan Kamil with 4.3 followers in the Instagram.
Mata kaluhu angkatan Tuhan. My question is, how can you apply the concept of ihsan in Muslim tradition? The concept of Islam is ihsan means, ya, nuhun Kang Emil, thank you. God sees you whether you can see God or not.
I think, therefore I exist. If something is unlogical, it won't be accepted by the Western mindset. But Indonesia accepting both. So we are very logical, like Pak Arif. But also we are very emotional. Jadi orang Indonesia senang internet tapi takut hantu juga. Jadi, yeah, it's very Eastern, yeah. So we love the internet. We fight through the change all art, but also we believe in ghosts. We believe in metaphysics. So that's very us, yeah, which I'm proud. It translated to the different culture. In Western city, because I'm an urban planner architect. In America, you design a city sequentially. First Avenue, Second Avenue, Third Avenue, Fifth Avenue, 40 seconds. You have to look for the police station, you find a big tree, you turn to the left, find the dirty river, that's my house. So that's unlogical, it's emotional. That's why the Western tourists always get lost in Tokyo, always get lost in Bali, always get lost in Bandung. So my point is, this is how we view the world, yeah. The problem in Indonesia, in Orde Baru, the new order during Suharto's regime, we always think progress means economy, that's it. Forget environment, forget social, just economic progress. And that's what that forest become more or less preserved. Yeah. But with modern thinking, because it's unlogical, the forest can talk. The man cut the trees, cut the forest for the consume of their own ego. Yeah. Formal law. Yeah. That's why we have to preserve adat istiadat. Yeah. We have to preserve very local wisdom culture as a law. Yeah. So we have to preserve also more to local wisdom law atau hukum-hukum adat. Karena itu yang menyelamatkan kita justru adalah mereka. So now that's basically my concern. To answer the first question, how you sustain the change in Bandung. Number one, I'm a very avid observant. Yeah, I'm not a smart person, but I like to learn. So in Bandung, I change the leaderships. In Indonesian politics, people always think to lead is always in the front of the team, pointing fingers. Okay. Push the team to move forward. I can drag the team who too slow. Right. So the whole the future challenge, represent Indonesian challenge, is the tolerance. Harmony is in danger. So as a mayor, I must fight. Sometimes I cannot say to the majority. So he says we have to close down the church. So what happens if as a mayor, I follow this kind of majority, what we call tyranny majority. So as a leader, I have to have my own conscience. Sometimes I'm against the majority when it comes to something. Society, they want to be listened. God created us 2 ears to listen more, 1 mouth just to speak less. So this is the way I do in Bandung. I do less top-down process. I push more bottom-up process. Yeah. So this kind of situations, more or less, sustainable planet. That this planet is belong to everybody, to all religion, to all races, with the peace and harmony. I think this message should get there, and we can live in a better world. Yeah. I think that's what the conference all about. So I'm very happy and thank you for organizer inviting me. The reason I have to rush back because I have the parliamentary session. It's very important. Otherwise, I have a political crisis in Bandung. Yeah? So I have to balance my life between sharing and also fighting in politics.
Give a big round of
Terima kasih.
applause for
Atur.
Mr. Ridwan Kamil. Thank you very much. Terima kasih. Well, we still have
3 hal tentang relasi terhadap alam, relasi terhadap manusia budaya, dan relasi terhadap Tuhan, kira-kira begitu. Tidak punya ketiga-tiganya, kota itu cenderung dia jadi dimensi terbatas. Banyak kota-kota maju di dunia fokusnya hanya ekonomi, seolah-olah kalau sudah sejahtera, kaya, bahagia, padahal enggak kan. Data-data menunjukkan banyak kota maju, masyarakatnya nggak betah, masyarakatnya nggak bahagia. Nah di Indonesia, alhamdulillah, kita fokuskan kepada 3 hal tadi. Kalau dalam budaya Sunda atau Bali ada Tri Hasta Kirana, ada Tri Tangtu, artinya harus seimbang kepada Tuhan, kepada alam, kepada manusia. Nah itu diterjemahkan di Bandung, memperbanyak ruang-ruang alam, ruang-ruang interaksi, ruang budaya, festival, kemanusiaan, pawalinya selalu menyapa, kita ada makan malam dengan warga miskin tiap Jumat malam dan lain sebagainya kan. Tapi juga ada religiusitasnya, ada maghrib mengaji, ada kunjungan ke gereja, dan vihara dan lain sebagainya. Jadi kuncinya seimbang. Percaya sama saya, kota yang tidak seimbang itulah cikal bakal kota yang stres, melahirkan kotanya yang banyak masalah.
Menurut Kang Emil, bagaimana pandangan Anda tentang budaya di era teknologi sekarang?
Budaya kan ekspresi manusia ya. Saya selalu bilang teknologi itu memudahkan, tapi jangan menghilangkan kemanusiaan. Dan teknologi ini punya sisi baik, punya sisi buruk juga. Interaksi fisik masih penting, ketemu orang masih penting, nggak bisa direduksi hanya di ruang digital saja. Maka ruang-ruang budaya itu penting, karena manusia itu makhluk yang multidimensi. Kalau manusia dimensinya dibatasi hanya oleh interaksi teknologi, setengahnya dimensi lainnya kan tidak tereksplor. Disitulah letak lahirnya stres, lahirnya kejahatan, lahirnya tidak ada toleransi, empati. Karena nggak pernah ketemu, nggak pernah berdiskusi, nggak pernah konflik secara langsung menyelesaikan masalah dalam krisis. Jadi di Bandung, ruang-ruang fisik ini sangat penting. Bagi saya itu tujuan kebudayaan yang paling penting.
Kalau ditinggalkan oleh pemuda itu sendiri?
Nah, sebagai pemuda tentunya kita harus paham, pemuda ini kan pemilik masa depan. Dia mau tinggal di sebuah budaya yang gitu-gitu aja, yang semua sama, dihomogenisasi, atau tinggal di budaya yang kaya raya. Nah, jangan merendahkan potensi manusia. Pemuda ini harus menggali nilai-nilai budaya. Kuat-kuatan lah kira-kira begitu. Antara kita kalah atau kita yang menginfluensi dunia. Saya punya optimisme kalau pemudanya idealis dan kuat,
budaya Indonesia bisa mempengaruhi dunia. Salah satunya adalah kalau saya pidato di mana-mana yang diminta itu adalah pidato tentang gotong royong. Kok bisa ya di Bandung, di Indonesia orang mau gotong royong kerja bakti, festival ini nggak dibayar dan sebagainya. Itu karena saya bilang di negeri kita kecintaan terhadap masyarakat itu tinggi. Kalau di orang lain kan diukur berapa duit, membayar berapa, wani piro dan gitu kan. Nah inilah peran pemuda agar masa depan bisa diseimbangkan dengan budaya-budaya yang kaya, yang beragam, dan itu di Indonesia punya potensi besar.
Satu, culture forum ini seberapa penting dan
Ya, tadi saya bilang ya, World Culture Forum ini kuncinya adalah memberi pesan. Jadi keberhasilannya diukur apakah pesannya sampai atau tidak. Nah, kalau pesannya sampai dengan platform digital, dengan platform kebijakan menjadi peraturan, berarti berhasil. Tapi kalau pesannya tidak sampai, ini hanya jadi seminar saja kan. Nah, mudah-mudahan tadi cerita saya di Bandung mempengaruhi orang, bikin keputusan, bikin peraturan, tiba-tiba mempengaruhi perubahan.
program budaya apa yang kekinian bagi Bang di Bandung?
Ya, tadi salah satu budaya yang kita mau adalah budaya gotong royong ya. Bahwa dalam setiap aspek masalah di Bandung orang berkontribusi, memberikan waktunya, memberikan pemikirannya. Masyarakat yang baik adalah masyarakat yang menyelesaikan problemnya sendiri. Kalau dikit-dikit minta negara yang ngurusin, dikit-dikit minta pemerintah, itu sebenarnya masyarakatnya kurang baik. Nah, di budaya yang baik seperti di Bali, adatnya masyarakat beresin sendiri. Ada masalah nggak usah ke pengadilan, silaturahmi antara tetua adat misalnya. Jadi masyarakat yang baik yang saya impikan adalah masyarakat yang maju, berkebudayaan dan bisa menyelesaikan masyarakat sendiri, masalahnya.
Nuhun ya,
Oke ya,
Kang,
sip,
nuhun.
atur nuhun.